Most people don't fail at manifesting because of the technique they're using. They fail because without realizing it, they're using the technique to actually avoid the one thing that changes their reality. That's why you might find you can visualize every night, affirm all day, script until your hand is about to fall off, and still feel like nothing is moving, nothing's happening. It's not the technique. It's the place inside you perform the technique from. This is the very reason why people stay stuck for years without ever seeing the results they're working so hard to get. In this video, I'm going to explain how to stop using all techniques, how I did it, and how you can too, and still manifest your desires powerfully in your reality. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I teach manifestation the Neville Goddard way. I help you to peel back the false layers of programming so you can wake up each morning feeling powerful and grounded in the reality that you desire. Most people don't realize this until they've exhausted every single method out there. They've been told to try every visualization, every affirmation, every state akin to sleep, every technique, and they're still wondering why nothing has shifted. They're not seeing the movement that they want. If you're not doing the technique to shift yourself, you've got a fundamental misunderstanding of the purpose of techniques, the purpose that techniques are really designed to serve, and really how all of this works, all of manifestation works. And this isn't judgment. I'm not judging anyone. I had to learn this all too. I had to kind of go through these trials and errors and learn this as well. But my job, what I do on this channel, is give it to you straight. No sugarcoating and no fluff. So let me say it again. If you still think that doing techniques is for the purpose of changing out there, you've got a misunderstanding at the fundamental level that I would highly encourage you to look at. Look at that misunderstanding. So let me give you an example of a client I worked with that comes to mind here, because his story is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. He had worked with several other coaches before coming to me, and they told him exactly what to visualize, the scene, the dialogue, the setting, the whole thing. They were very specific there. They told him, just say your I am statements and just create it with your words. And so he did. And he did everything right. I don't doubt at all that he knew how to visualize. But in between doing these techniques, right, he wasn't visualizing all day, every day. He was doing them for a certain amount of time. And then in between doing these techniques, we discovered that he was doubting the whole thing. He was doubting the whole visualization. He didn't actually believe the scene he was repeating in his visualizations. He hoped the technique itself would work some kind of magic and deliver something that he truly didn't feel was possible. And he actually told me as well that he believed his desire was wrong. Wrong for him, it was wrong for him to want it, and wrong for him to claim it. And let me be super clear about this one. You cannot manifest something you simultaneously believe is wrong. You cannot bring in a desire you refuse to accept and stand behind. And you definitely cannot select a reality you don't allow yourself to assume. This is why techniques weren't working for him. 2.5 years, I believe he was doing this. Nothing was changing. Not because he was doing them incorrectly, but because he was using the technique hoping it would magically make something happen out there, right? But he wasn't changing his core belief. He wasn't changing his core assumptions. And this simply won't work. Techniques are neutral. They have no power on their own. The power the technique has is to change and affect you. So when you use the technique, you have to be open and willing to change. Not out there, but in here. Change your beliefs, change your assumptions, change your concept of self, change you, change your state of being. The techniques are about changing you. If you're using techniques to change out there, again, like I said in the beginning, you have a fundamental misunderstanding that needs to be looked at, because That's not how this works. So you see, the techniques aren't about changing out there, as I just said. They are all about changing you, your state, your assumptions, even your identity. You use the techniques as a method to help you change at the level of your identity. This is why Neville always pointed you back to the inner self, not the ritual, not the routine, and not the technique. He said, dare to believe in the reality of your assumption. So, do you need a technique to change your assumption? Well, you may. It may be useful, but you don't need it, actually. You may use one, but you may not use a technique to change your assumption. And once you do the work to change your programming, the subconscious programming that's running the show, you change your self-concept and upgrade your ideas about yourself at the level of your identity. Meaning, are you someone who is successful, or are you someone who's always struggling? Are you someone who is wildly abundant or always behind? Are you someone who has more opportunities and choices than you know what to do with? Or are you always searching for crumbs? When you do the work to upgrade your identity, and I'm not talking about being in denial. No, when you're in denial, guess what? You need techniques, because the old, outdated, never yours to begin with programming will keep pulling you out of the state that you desperately want to be in. And you won't understand why. So again, let me clarify what I'm saying here. If you don't change yourself at the level of the identity, at the level of the programming, then this is when you need techniques. This is when it feels like you need techniques. Why? Why does it feel like you need techniques? Because your programming that you haven't looked at and done the work to change will keep pulling you out of the state, pulling out of your assumption because of the programming. It'll keep pulling you out of the state. So then you think you need a technique to put you back in the state. So I just wanted to clarify, because I kind of breezed over that really quickly, and it's really important actually. But once you do the inner work to understand why you can't stay in your end for very long, why you can't live in the end for very long, and you reprogram the subconscious mind, you change your automatic assumptions, automatic reactions, and automatic meanings that you're giving to things, the responses, the stories. When all of this changes, you will not need techniques, because you may still have things come up either in the 3D or in your thoughts. I still have things come up, but I'm aware enough to see them for what they are. And if it's an old belief coming up, I don't get swept away by it, because I've changed the underlying programming. It's very easy to see. It's not part of my identity like it used to be. If a circumstance that I don't prefer comes up, I don't crumble, thinking that I'm a victim, thinking that, oh no, why is my life falling apart? And when things look stalled, I don't panic and wonder, why is the world against me? No, because I've shifted my core beliefs enough to know that everything is working out for me. Everything is happening for my highest good. Even things that appear to be setbacks and unwanted, which still do show up in my reality, by the way, but I know at this point that they are truly there to show me something lovingly about me. And it's all about what I choose to do with it. So the bottom line here is, when you upgrade your core programming, your core operating system, which I like to call your programming, you'll stop fighting with yourself and your external reality, which is, by the way, also yourself. There's no separation between you and your reality. That's illusion. They are one in the same. You and your reality. There's no difference. But you have to upgrade your operating system to see it this way. And when you do, you'll stop fighting it, and you'll no longer need the techniques, and you'll no longer fool yourself that you need to change out there. You'll understand on the deepest level, as Neville said and meant actually, literally, there is no one to change but self. So if you're ready to make this type of shift, which is absolutely available to you today, this is the work we do inside of my coaching program. There's a link in the description to go to my website. You can read all about the program. There's also a link in the pinned comment to book a free consultation with me. If you still have questions about the program or about working with me, you can book that call. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.